7 p.m. and we will start with our Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, thank you. Roll call. We have everybody here this evening. Thank you for your time. I know you're very busy. The agenda is before us this evening. I have one addition to the agenda. It's already in the council pack. It unfortunately was inadvertently left off the council agenda. If everybody is okay with this, I'd like to add under new business item number 7, which is the resolution proclaiming the National Night Out. So with that, do I have any other changes to the agenda? If not, do I have a motion to approve our amended agenda? So by Larry, do I have a second? Second. By Troy, those in favor? Aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. And our consent agenda, is there anything anybody needs removed for discussion? Then if not, for the record, our consent agenda is the donation to the Initiative Foundation, the minutes from June 13th, staff reports, commission and board reports, our correspondence, and our approval of claims and payroll, and that should take care of that. So do I have a motion to approve the consent agenda? So by Ross, I got a second by Mary. Those in favor? Aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. And the first item, there is no old business. We have got a friend who's been a real friend to our community for many years. She's helped us big time with National Night Out. I think you were one of the original people who started it, along with, I can't remember his first name.
Yes.
Joe?
No, it was the person in charge of community partnership with youth and family.
Exactly. Sorry, I didn't mean to put you on the spot. But we have Loretta Anderson. Loretta is here this evening. Loretta, if you'd like to join us up here this evening, you can both step up. We have down here council that says presentation by Loretta Anderson and other parties, and it's called The Big Idea.
Yes.
And we have with us.
Sumac. And Sumac.
Thank you,
Sounds like
Sumac.
yourself.
Okay.
Well, it's great to be here. I know many people in this room wasn't expecting so many. You have a great turnout. I hope you have it that way all the time. Sue and I are board members of the community, the Chisago Lakes Community Area Foundation. And we have something really big going on. Hopefully, it will be well received. We've been to several various council meetings. We've been to the Shaper Township, to the Shaper Village, to the, well, we're going to go to Rotary next week, and here in Taylor's Falls. So we're getting the word out. Some of the other council or the board members are hitting some of the other communities. So anyway, one thing we would like to first start with is, have any of you heard of the community, the St. Croix Valley Foundation, which our community, okay, you have. So I want to just say that the big foundation is in Hudson, and there are 10 affiliates. We are one of them, and we, meaning our Chisago Lakes, which includes you. And that's the other thing, like we always like to stress, that the Chisago Lakes area is the whole school district. So that's why Sue and I got this part of the school district to represent our group with. But anyway, to tell you a little bit about our group, our Chisago Lakes, we have been in existence for a few years now. We started back in 2008, and it just doesn't seem like it's already been that long. Oh my goodness. Oh, maybe I should ask if anyone's interested in being a board member. You're welcome to consider that, and then you can let me know too. But we have over the years here have been able to raise funds to actually have money to grant out to projects throughout our Chisago Lakes area. And we've been very pleased about that. And Sue is going to talk to you a little bit about what we've already have done in that area. Oops, did you have one, and I'll pass some of these out, or did you already?
I passed
do that?
this.
Okay.
No, I didn't. Okay, so the Chisago County Community Foundation, like Loretta said, we're part of a big affiliate, we're one of the affiliates. Every year, depending upon the endowed funds that are received and how the stock market goes, we get some money back. Each affiliate gets some money back, which we can put out into grants. And so last year, we were able to give out $14,000 to meet local needs from Chisago City to Taylor's Falls. So it was a great year. So these, I'll give you a list of, I'll tell you who received it last year. So Taylor's Falls Foundation got money for a backpack program. Chisago Lakes Historical Society had money to help build a universal accessible entrances, for their building. Franconia Sculpture Park added enhancements to their public ice rink. Age Well Coalition was helping seniors learn about health and aging options in the community. Ecumen converted a bay window to an accessible door to their garden area. The American Legion Post 83 received assistance in cost to send students to Boys and Girls County leadership programs. Chisago Lakes High School Youth Fishing helped cover the cost of jerseys for the high school fishing team. The Chisago Lakes Community Meals, they purchased fans and air purifiers to start up meals again this spring, which they have started, which is wonderful. Chisago Lakes Band Boosters helped raise money for large brass instruments so kids don't have to share. The tuba was one that many people spit into over time, you know, so that's how it goes. Let's Go Fishing, if you're familiar with that. They did repair and replacement equipment needed to get seniors and persons with disabilities to experience fishing. And the Ojikita Owls program, are you familiar with that? Okay, the OWL stands for Ojikita Wednesdays for Last Lunch and Service. And so it's all volunteers, and what they do is they start in the spring, and they do projects for the Ojikita Park. They can replace 1.5 full-time employees by their volunteers. So they start at 8 o'clock, and they have coffee, and then they work until lunch, and then they all go home, so people can come and go. There are 3 main groups with the Owls, and I know this because my husband started it. The first one is the Jesus group. They are the carpenters. Then they have the Picassos. Of course, they do all the painting. All of the cabins have been painted. And then we have the MacGyvers. They can fix anything with a paperclip and some electricity. So anyway, if you ever want to help out, it's great fun. So they were awarded a grant, and I had nothing to do with the vote, I have to tell you that. But they wanted to build a bridge across a trail that was a culvert, so that if someone is walking and they have an injury, they can get some four-wheeler in to get the people out. So they just completed that, and it's on the website if you ever want to take a look at the builders that did that and the project. So it makes that whole pathway safer. So, and then this year, there's a big idea is available, what they're looking for, and did you pass out some? No, I didn't pass
Oh,
out.
okay. I'm gonna make sure these folks get one. Share.
Oh, we have enough to do.
Do we? We have enough for everybody? I think we'll have enough.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Oh,
This one.
okay.
Hit this one, buddy.
I have nothing to do.
Wow.
Look at those. We're gonna wanna share that. So this year, a bigger idea, of course, really looking at something that's going to really benefit more of the community. And there is a possibility that if any group or, in this Taylor's Falls area would like to apply for a grant, might be able to win up to $10,000. So we're really looking for something really big, significant, that type of thing. And, there's many thoughts on that, and people are already busy trying to come up with ideas and what would meet some of their needs. So we have something to even help you as you talk within the community or different groups, folks behind us too, okay, that there's some talking points, and you've already passed those out, I read. Nope, okay.
I feel like Anna was right. Here you go.
What's the letter now?
Yes, really. And so the talking points, the Chisago Lakes Community Foundation represents all of the communities in our school district. We're able to give out annual grants from our endowed fund, so about 10 to 12,000 per year based on returns from our investment in St. Croix Valley Foundation. The endowed fund grows through local donations and legacy gifts from people who value this great community. Many people leave a donation from their IRA, required minimum distributions, a bequest in their will, or just an annual year-end donation. We want to be your choice for meaningful charitable giving. This year, we are planning to make a bigger splash by giving the $10,000 grant for a project that enhances the quality of life, leaves a lasting impact, builds community pride, strengthens community connections, enhances the lives of our residents, or fills an unmet need. The project will be judged on meeting one or more of those criteria. The grant will be awarded in October. You have a year to complete your great idea. Getting a business or city, a donor, or nonprofit to match the $10,000 would really make a great impact if that's possible. Who can apply? Any nonprofits, city, schools, etc. If an individual or group have a great idea, we can help find a fiscal sponsor. So let's make the community better. Tell your friends, businesses, cities, Laura, scout troops, church groups, clubs, charitable organizations, community education, and more. And we have one more group, if we can get them together, and that's the parent-teacher group.
Oh, okay.
So anyway, we really hope that you folks will think about the possibilities, think about what needs aren't being met, what maybe would really strengthen the community.
And feel free to put posters up in businesses, so somebody will be able to take a look and say, hey, I got a great idea.
As in this poster?
That's the poster.
Right.
And if you need more, you know where that. She can take care of that.
I have your number.
I think most of the group here does.
But anyway, we thank you very much for letting us come and talk to you folks and share this great information. So, and then the website should be, and I didn't check before I went on the home, if it's right here, right on your flyer to see if it's up and running. It wasn't at the last time that we went to speak to the group, so everybody's mind is busy thinking, I can tell. Now you won't have their attention, because they're gonna be busy coming up. Good night, down.
Very
That's the
good.
way it goes.
Okay,
Yeah.
so council, do you have questions?
Now it decided to work.
Sorry, I hope that wasn't me. Okay, so council have any questions or
I do.
comments for
So,
either Sue?
this grant will be a year from now?
Actually, no,
No.
you have 1 year to complete your project.
Okay, so
Yeah,
that
so-
leads me to my second question. We have a
Okay.
couple of projects going on around town that could use, an infusion. And so would those be eligible?
Well,
if they fit the,
Yeah,
criteria.
They both do.
Yeah,
They
and,
do.
and here it says the application deadline
Okay.
is September second.
Okay.
And then it's voted on, our organization votes on which ones seem, would be a possibility or what we
Now, is there an
want.
application form or is it just
And
a handwritten?
that would be on the site, on the website
Great.
for,
Yeah,
yeah, so, and that's why I said I was wondering if it is there, it should be.
yeah.
Because this time now, we're in July, it should be
It
there.
should be. So it's really
So-
exciting.
It's up.
There's a lot you can do with that.
The URL is up.
It is.
So, other comments? Okay, thank you very much.
Okay, thank you
You're
so
welcome
much.
to stay, but you don't have to. I thought I'd bring you up first, just to be courteous to you.
Thank you.
Bet. Thank you. Have a wonderful evening.
Yes.
Okay, so council, I'm gonna back up now to public forum. I've got two of them here, so we'll stick to our 3-minute rule that we have. The first one is Diane Nelson. It says follow-up comments. Welcome, Diane.
And I know it's under 3 minutes,
Not a problem.
unless I get interrupted.
I won't interrupt you, promise.
Okay, thank you. Well, we're going through some pretty tough times right now, and tough things need to be said. This statement is from the Taylor's Falls Concerned Citizens, and it's addressed to Mayor Buhite, council members Rivera, Julikine, and Murphy. Well, you did it, what you set out to do. You got rid of the problem. You did it by ignoring personnel policy guidelines, state statutes, and best practices. You retaliated by twisting facts, making false accusations, and spreading humiliating and painful misinformation. You spent taxpayer money on 2 back-to-back sham investigations and promised, for the sake of transparency, to share the final reports with the public, but you never did. And you did all of this to cover up your own guilt and blame. So here we are, no city clerk, a dysfunctional council, a questionable city law firm, city hall is closed and in disarray, and services to Taylor's Falls residents and taxpayers have been discontinued. And all because you as the employer failed to intervene appropriately to resolve a workplace dispute. Let me say that again, that's a common thing, workplace dispute. It should have been handled through a mediation process with both sides being treated with fairness and respect, but not in this case. However, that comes as no surprise to us because there is no mandated personnel and HR training for you, the council, personnel liaisons, you're the employer. But even worse is that you have refused to follow the guidance in the city's personnel policy, which was again acknowledged by the former clerk's legal counsel at last week's due process meeting. This is not about politics or fake news or choosing to take the low road. No one, an employee, a woman, or human being deserves to be treated the way our former clerk was. You held all the power and control, and you used it to destroy her life, her career, and her reputation. Where were the better angels of your nature, your moral and ethical conscience? No amount of money can ever make up for the pain you have caused her and her family. You must be held accountable so this never happens again in our city. Myself, and it's signed by Tana Havelmacki, Sandra and Brian Berg, Carol and Kevin Schumann, Becky Candidate, and Molly Irish. Thank you.
Thank you. And so the next we have is Deb Julikine. It says council support. So Deb, the microphone is all yours. Welcome.
Thank you. So this would be point, counterpoint. Good evening, Mayor Mike, and I guess we're stipulating, so city council members Brevard, Julikine, and Murphy. I come tonight with words of encouragement and appreciation for our council. It has indeed been a difficult year for you all. Dealing with unsubstantiated accusations and a data breach is surely more than you bargained for.
I realize that increasingly we do live in a world where innuendo and conspiracy seem to be the norm of the day, but I say resist. Sometimes even clear evidence, of which you have given much, will not change the minds once those minds are deeply dug in. Sadly, we've witnessed this situation throughout our country in the last several years, but keep doing the job for which you were elected. Know that most town folks with whom I've spoken solidly support you and believe in you. Just because they don't show up to demonstrate doesn't mean their voices don't count. And to those who bring forth and support baseless accusations, I'll keep trying to do what my mother taught me. Consider good intentions. And I think everybody here comes with good intentions. It's going to be a stormy and hot, one other point, I wanted to say thank you to the Shasala Lakes Area Community Foundation, because our school foundation actually got a nice grant from them last year, and they're wonderful people. It's going to be a stormy and hot Wanigan Days weekend, but I hope it is also one where neighbors come together with kindness and respect all of you. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Okay, council, I'm gonna move on to the next item on the agenda. It is Lynn Longnecker. He's gonna come and talk to us about Wanigan Days. So, welcome, Lynn. Good to see you.
I don't know, it's a tough crowd.
Yeah. Former council member, former mayor.
Well, I just want to bring up briefly few things here. I believe Wanigan Days is moving in the right direction. I think that everything is pretty well planned out. One concern I have is Doc Young yet. He isn't kind of feeling under the weather, so I don't know if he'll announce a parade yet or not, but hopefully he does. But it's in his ballpark and how he feels. So just hoping he comes around. He's feeling a little weak right now. So keep him in your thoughts and prayers. I want to bring up for Wanigan Days some street closings. I've been trying to stop up and talk to Mike Kriz, and he's been out and about in the city when I stopped up, so. But anyhow, same as last year, closing off, in front of, the Springs Inn.
Ravine Street.
Is that Government Street, is that Ravine
Government,
Street,
Ravine.
and then, yeah, Government and Ravine Street. Because we'll be setting up there Friday morning, the stage will be going up. And so we can't have anybody driving through there, so if we block it off early, 7 o'clock in the morning, we could.
Is Mike aware of that by chance?
No, I haven't talked to him, but,
Do you want one of the public works liaisons to talk to him?
that'd be great. That'd be great if somebody could just mention it to him. I'll try to stop tomorrow, Wednesday.
We'll make sure it's taken care of.
Okay. And also, I need, 4 parking spots down in the Marmion, parking lot, for the Suits team. They'll be setting up there Saturday, morning, so if they just drop the barricades off there, I can set them up. I'll be down there about 7 o'clock in the morning. So I can, reserve those up for them. Just praying for good weather.
Gonna be hot.
Gonna be hot, we're used to that. Feel sorry for the people that have to march in the parade, but. Yeah, but hopefully it cools down a little bit before then, we just don't know. Any questions on Wanigan Days? Anything, bathrooms, usually the city takes care of that, I'm assuming they're taken care of?
Yep.
Same places or whatnot?
How are your donations for Wanigan Days?
They've been good. That's one thing I don't know financially. I know that we've got money in there. I asked Elizabeth here last fall and I never got an accurate count, but I know that we've got funds available, that we've had more money in the account than what we've spent.
Lynn, tell them about the meeting with the chamber.
Right, that was a good one, thank you.
Got it.
Also, this is my last year of heading up in Taylor's Falls, and I think I'm speaking for Sandra too, her last year also. We had a meeting with Falls Chamber, and I think they'll be taking her over on this side of the river also. Does not mean that there won't be anybody not from Taylor's Falls that can assist with that. It'll take, members from the community to step up, to kind of organize and create the agenda for Taylor's Falls side. Lions Club are all in for, doing their part. Search team will do their part, I'm sure. But it's setting up the street dance for Friday night and closing the roads or whatever and taking care of that part. But Falls Chambers, we're gonna meet with them after this year's extravaganza, and then we'll put it together and see how we all fare.
Would you like me to have, sorry to interrupt you, would you like me to have Mike Chris contact you?
That's what I was gonna ask.
Yes.
Okay.
Can you pass along afterwards the phone number?
Sure, yeah. no
I
problem.
have it.
Yeah, so,
We'll make sure that happens.
Yep.
okay. I got the checks, I think, for everybody to be paid. Talked to White Sidewalls today, he'll be here about 5 o'clock Friday night. So, cross our fingers, all
Another year.
weather related.
What, how many years has it been now for the Wanigan Days? Is this
Since-
even year, 60 years? something?
62,
62
64,
years.
what's on the button?
Well, there's some discretion
Right,
about
because we had
that.
COVID year.
Right.
But St. Croix still had events, so we could still call it it's continuous. It's 60, how many years?
62, 63,
Something like that,
something.
yeah. So anyhow, it's still going, so we've had it a good long time. But we gotta stay active on this side, so if we're not active on this side, that means nothing comes this way. So I put that out to the community to step up to the plate.
Very good.
So, any other questions? I know I can count on the A-team that we got for the street and department, for these public works guys. They always do a tremendous job. And they're always down at Saturday night parade at the corner. They've been,
They're looking for candy.
yeah, I know it. I gave them some.
I do too.
They take care of garbages, early. I mean, they clean the streets. They just do a tremendous job.
Yep, they'll sweep the streets afterwards too,
Yeah,
with the street sweeper.
yeah, that's what I mean. I mean, they do a good job.
They don't do it by hand.
No.
Very good. Other questions for Lynn or comments?
Good job.
Well, thank you very much. I know it's your last year. I want to thank you for all the time you've dedicated.
Did you want to make mention of the croquet tournament being postponed because
Oh, yes, I'm sorry. Yes, the croquet tournament is being postponed until next year because of the heat. It's easy, older crowd, it gets pretty hot up there in the field, so there's gonna be a blister in the middle of the afternoon, so. I think it was a good call to cancel it. Thank you, Deb, for making that call. Yeah, I think it's a good call.
Yep.
It would be different if we had 100 people competing each time, but I think it's a great idea.
Skin by that one,
Yeah.
Good. Other comments for Lynn? Again, thank you for all you've done. Well
No problem.
appreciated. Okay, council, I'm on to the next item on the agenda. This is a resolution, and as I had announced, there was a $25 donation. It's from the Lowell Nelson Estate. And it had, pardon? No, did I say 25? $25,000 from the Lowell Nelson Estate. It's for the library building fund. And the funds have already been received and they have been deposited in the library fund. So what we need to do now, council, is take a look at the verbiage on the resolution. And if it looks good to everybody, I assume we're going to adopt this and take the money. Looks good to everybody?
Yes.
With that, then I'm gonna call for a motion to approve resolution 220701. This is a resolution accepting the funds, thankfully, from the Lowell Nelson, or with many thanks, from the Lowell Nelson Estate. So motion to approve by Mary, do I have a second?
Second.
By Larry, those in favor? Aye, opposed? Motion carries. Now, we're on to the next area, which is our budget workshops. And as you'll notice in your council packet, and I had talked to Steve about this, and I had told him we could probably knock this out in 3 meetings. And so he put on here, pick 3 meetings. And I didn't intend for him to do that. My recommendation, we always do the first Wednesday starting in August, and we run up until just prior to our meeting in September so that we can approve it and send it to the county. So my recommendation is that we go ahead and schedule all of those meetings. If it turns out we don't need them, we will just cancel them. So everybody comfortable with the meetings? Are Wednesdays good? The other thing that I think he put on here was 7 a.m. in the morning. Is 7 a.m. good for everybody? Okay, sounds good. So with that, I'm gonna call for a motion to approve the meetings for our budget workshops of August 3rd, 10th, 17th, 24th, the 31st, and September 7th, starting at 7 a.m. And they are held in the mayor's office, and it's an open meeting, so all are welcome. We'll find room. So do I have a motion to approve this?
I'll make the motion.
I got a motion by Troy, I got a second by Larry. Those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Then we're on to a next item, which is Councilmember Julikine has requested this. Looks like a community foundation grant opportunity.
It's what Loretta came to
Oh, it
speak of,
is. So that is, so that's already been addressed. We don't need any action on this. Okay, that's an easy one. So we're gonna move on to the next item, and this is a discussion on posting for the city clerk treasurer position. I'm told that the personnel liaisons will be addressing this. So it's either Ross or Larry, go ahead, it's all yours.
Well, Ross, as personnel liaisons, have had discussions about our situation with, in the office for a clerk treasurer position. And we feel as though it would be in the best interest of the city at this point to maintain Mary Tompkins, but elevate her to a permanent, full-time status as clerk treasurer. Full-time status, not permanent, but full-time status as clerk treasurer. Mary knows the city, she's licensed, she's experienced, and she will get the office open and running. So that's our recommendation.
Okay, Ross, anything to add to that?
No, just reiterate everything Larry said, that she does a great job. She's been here for, I think, 3.5 years, well liked by everybody, excellent, knows her job. She's a certified clerk, and she's already here. She understands the city and the people. So I think that we just continue on with her. And we've discussed it with her, and if the council agrees that we could, go ahead and hire her, in the future here.
Okay, so I have a couple of questions. I don't mean to jump out ahead of anybody, but I think she's full-time employed now someplace else, and she's going to resign from that position and take this as a permanent 40 hours a week.
Yeah, where she's at right now, she does not like it.
Okay,
So whether she comes here or not, she's quitting that job.
okay.
Doesn't matter to her either way, but she's just unhappy where she's at right now.
So what would be her start date?
I would guess probably start date was, well, she'd probably start right away, because we need somebody to continue on full-time,
As in tomorrow, she'd be full-time, 40 hours a week?
if we approve it tonight.
Okay,
Yeah.
no, just a question.
But I think as far as the council window being open, if you wanna put it that way, for full service for the city, it probably would be August 1st, because there's still so much to be done with the bookworks and filing and, working it out with Opdo, that things aren't the way they should be. The city program, we're having some issues with that, I guess. Anyway, there's a lot into it, so the window probably will be open August 1st. We'd like to do it sooner if we can, but it's just, we gotta make sure she gets everything lined up and working correctly. Mainly, past issues, put it that way. Even today, something came up that wasn't done, so it's just, there's a lot to it.
Okay. What about pay? What about
that?
PTO? I assume full benefits is PTO, everything?
Yeah, it'd be full benefits like any full-time employees.
Okay.
It'd be at the rate of $33 an hour. She is a certified clerk. She's not in training or anything like that.
What are we paying her now? 35?
35, yeah.
Okay.
And no benefits.
Okay.
So she's gonna drop $2 an hour? Did I hear that right?
Yeah, but she does, then she'll start with benefits.
Okay, is there any, first of all, is she being hired as a new employee?
She's already a part-time place, so we just make her full-time. That's what we inherited.
So we're just transferring her from part-time to full-time?
Correct, yes.
Is there any probationary period?
If you go by the personnel policy, it says there's 6 months probation. If you were promoted.
Okay. So that is the trial time for Mary,
Correct.
6 months, right? What I wanted to do, I do want to call attention to the agenda, which, item number 6 says discussion on posting for city clerk and treasurer. And we haven't had no discussion, we haven't had any discussion on posting anything.
Not yet, that's the next option I was
Is
gonna
it?
bring up was,
Okay.
we have another option, which is we can post for the position. So, whatever the
I
council
want to
wants.
keep that in mind.
Okay.
And the other thing, as we go forward with this, I guess I have 2 challenges. One is for the city council, no matter what we do, whether we decide to hire Mary Thomas or we decide to post, I think the past year at least, I know there are citizens that are acutely aware of the impact that a clerk treasurer has on the running of the city and how important it is. So I want to challenge the city council to do whatever we can to make sure this decision is done transparently and openly, and that all the people have a chance to see and be present at anything we do, whether it is an interview or hiring like this. And the other challenge I want to put out is actually to the residents of Taylor's Falls, to make sure that you are aware of what's going on, that you show up at any interview process that you can. Make sure that you are involved as much as you legally can in this process. You also are acutely aware of the impact of clerk treasurer and that it has on the city. And it is a possibility, I did not say probability, I said possibility, that 3 of us might not be here next year. So we are hiring somebody that's gonna impact the residents and the running of the city long past our terms, and we have to keep that in mind as well.
Thank you, Troy. Mary, comments?
None, because I wasn't part of the communication hiring, so I do personally think it's a great addition.
Okay.
She's been here for many years previously, knows the books, knows the people, knows the processes. And by all means, I would recommend her highly as well, because I've been working in the office, observing things getting done. And, she knows when she sat in the saddle, she knew what to do.
Okay. I'm in favor of hiring Mary Thomas as well. This council, not this council, but council in the past, many years ago, Ross, I think, was the only council member on it. At that time, it may, Steve Dahl was as well, but Joe Everson was part-time city clerk, and the council hired her and simply promoted her, if you want to use that term. Am I correct on that, Ross?
Yeah.
Because I can remember her telling me when she was here that she went from part-time status to full-time status. She'd been part-time for 5 years, and she took the position without any other interviews. So it's not shocking that we would do that. For myself, I like the idea. It speeds up the process. The city does have to heal. We got a long ways to go to healing. I do like the fact that Mary Tompkins is a certified city clerk. She's familiar with Banyan. She knows how to run the water bills, which I understand are going out. And so, I support this. I think, is there a recommendation that we hire Mary?
I
or
also
what are we
wanted to
looking
make
at?
a mention.
Go ahead.
Her doing this is not setting a precedent, because it was already set with Joe Everson, correct?
Yeah, we've done that with Joe Everson. We actually did that with our zoning administrator when Adam Berkland moved on and Steve filled in.
Right.
We did go through an interview process, the council made the decision to hire.
Yep.
So it's not unheard of, doesn't mean it has to be done that way. We always have the option of saying, no, we want to post for the position and see what we get.
Correct.
So we have
Okay.
those options, so. Liaisons, you want to make a recommendation? You want to make a motion? What do you want to do?
Well, I believe it's our recommendation to hire Mary Thompkins.
Okay, so is that a motion?
Yes.
Okay, and it's gonna be at $33 an hour?
Correct.
Okay, anything else to that? Do I have a second?
Second.
Okay, by Ross, further discussion?
Yeah, I guess I have one more. I have worked, I've been here long enough to work with Mary, or have, work with Mary on different city issues. And I think Mary is fantastic and very qualified. I think we have an opportunity to open this position up to somebody else in the city. And I know we have received at least one application from somebody who would be interested and was qualified. And I think we're passing up an opportunity to bring somebody new in that is very possibly qualified by not posting this position. So as much as I am going to be in opposition to this, but I don't want Mary to think that that is anything personal. I just think we're passing up an opportunity to bring somebody in who's just as qualified and can give us a fresh start.
Very good, thank you for that, I appreciate it, Troy. I've got a motion, I've got a second. Those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed?
Opposed?
So that's 4-1, that motion carries. Mary Tomnitz is our new city clerk treasurer. She starts effective tomorrow with the opening of the city hall on August 1st. So I'm on to the last item on the agenda. This is the one that was added. What we're looking at is a resolution. This is proclaiming August 16th of 2022 as National Night Out in Taylor's Falls. There's already a fair amount of information that's been shared on National Night Out. I'm not too sure how many years it's actually been going, but it's a wonderful event. It's been at the Baptist Church, it's been at the elementary school. Council, this is, to me, very simple. How does the resolution look to everybody? Everybody comfortable with it? Yep. So with that, I'm gonna call for a motion to approve Resolution 220702. It is proclaiming August 16, 2022 as National Night Out in the city of Taylor's Falls. So motion to approve.
So moved.
By Larry, second by Troy. Those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries unanimously. Okay, so that's everything on the agenda. I've only got a couple of things that I want to announce. The first one is that the Lowell Nelson property that we are very anxious to go ahead and accept. They're having some difficulty locating the vesting deed. And so once that has been found, they'll look at it, and council, our city attorneys will make a recommendation. There's a title company that's looking into it. The last thing that I have is the election filing. It is from August 2nd until August 16th. Anybody who is interested, file. So with that, that's all I've got. Anything else that needs to be brought up?
Yeah, I'd like to.
Go ahead.
We're doing a round robin, but it looked like Troy spoke first.
No, go ahead.
Go ahead.
He yielded to you, go ahead.
Okay, so, I just wanted to alert the population of our city that the 651-465-5133 has been reinstalled. And the, company that our Bitworks, contracts through was unable to find, a clear definition of what happened. The three things that could have happened was that it was ported to somebody else's phone illegally, our wires were cut illegally, or it just simply was, we had a storm one night, it came off the tower, and it just went dead. And they were able to put it back up, and it's running. It is
Good.
really good.
Anything else, Mary?
No.
Okay, Troy, you had a comment?
Just a couple. July 19th, we'll be having our EDC meeting.
Very good.
And I'm glad, thanks to Loretta and Sue, we have some information, some great opportunities to bring forward to EDC. We've been working on some stuff already, and I think this will be beneficial. The other thing is, I would ask that the community keep Jerry Nelson in your prayers, your thoughts and prayers. I won't get into the details, but she is really not doing well, and I know she's at Regents Hospital, so please keep her in your thoughts and prayers. And that is all I have. Oh, I do have a challenge to the other council members for the dunk tank again this year. Lions Club will be having a dunk tank on Saturday. I'm gonna see if I can get in there early, but I believe everybody's been contacted and
Been there, done that.
invited.
Amazing. Excellent, thank you. So with that, we've concluded all the business. I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
By Mary, second by Larry. Those in favor? Aye. Opposed? We are adjourned. Thank you.
Thank you.